lo and behold, FedEx comes, and guess what's inside? Let's see here. Oh yeah, my first check, you guys. Can you see that? $34,000.
You can do this. I believe in you. All right, give yourselves a round of applause.
With the Fearless Millionaire program, and before taking the program, I was having trouble being comfortable on the phone, knowing what to say to people, and just putting more money in my pocket. And I can honestly say, I am Fearless Millionaire.
You can do it. Don't give up. You are fearless millionaire. Yeah, this is a video right now. Hello. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Well, hey everyone. Thanks so much for joining in on Crushing COVID Daily. I'm so glad you're here. Looks like we got all systems go. I think the sound quality is good today also, which is fantastic. That was a little intro of something that I usually play when I go speak at an event or if I'm doing an online presentation. And that is what my mission is all about. You saw like a combination of what my mission really is, why I got started in real estate, not in the first place, but why I got started in real estate in the first place was to live a life of freedom and also to give back. So you saw a combination of the people that some of the people that I've helped. You've seen some of the success stories, and also what's near and dear to my heart is giving back to children who are underprivileged enough to get educated and be able to live a better life. And I truly know that everything starts at the core of life, and building yourself, your family, and your community is because of education. And if you believe in that, if you believe that self-education is really important in education, smash the like button so I know, and also let me know that in the comments. If you believe that, then let me know in the comments. So today we got a really great session. I'm going to be covering something that's really, really important that has come up actually more recently, and I think it will really help during this time of crisis, of pandemic, things that are taking place. One of the things that I find that most people are don't pay attention to as often is their mindset. And that's probably one of the most powerful things. You heard me say yesterday that, going into real estate, I was on a hunt for more education, more knowledge. But I spent too long learning about real estate. I spent too long learning instead of putting more time into doing. And that's really important. That's what makes the difference, is actually the activity in the business. But you also, my late mentor once told me that, my late mentor, Jim Rohn, once told me that, you have to work, if you work hard at your job, right? If you work hard at earning a living, you will make a living, right? You work hard at your life, your job, you'll make a good living. But if you work harder on yourself, you'll earn a fortune. And when I first heard that, I was like, what does that mean exactly? Or how do you earn a fortune and work harder on yourself? So when I first heard those words, I was like, work harder on yourself. What does that mean? Like going to the gym, running out? And for a period of time, I was going to the gym. But what I ended up discovering was self-education is really important. Being self-educated and continuing. School shouldn't stop at, high school or primary or, college, university. It shouldn't stop there. Self-education should be a daily thing. You should learn something new every day. And if you have that plan of trying to learn something new every day, it stretches your mind. It really kind of, it helps you to grow. Like I shared with you guys yesterday, and the whole of Crushing COVID Daily was actually not my idea. I wish I could say it was, but it wasn't. It was actually my online marketing coach. She pushed me and said, no, here's a challenge. Here's something you need to do for the next 30 days. So I had to come up with everything in between, but it was the push. And I'm all for it because I'm always willing to educate myself and expand. But I'll tell you what it does for your life, it takes your life to a whole nother level. Now, here's the thing that's really important about all that is taking action. You can't just learn about it so long. You can't just continually learn about investing or doing real estate. You actually have to get out there and do it. You have to do activity. You have to breed results, right? And so the only way to do that is by being active. So I want to cover something with you guys today. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, I'm like looking all over the place. By the way, throw it in the chat. Where are you at? Where are you today? Yesterday I asked you when's your birthday. I know we got some birthdays coming up here in May, but I'd love to know, where are you at today in the world? Where are you at today? Where is that document? While you're telling me that, I got like everything's like disappearing. Okay. All right, maybe I'm just going to pull it up right now. I'm probably just going to share the document here. I had it and then it disappeared. I don't know why, because I was like ready for it. Huh. That's funny. Oh, got that. Yeah, it's just like disappeared. I don't know where it went. Okay, that's fun. If not, I'll just share my screen and show it to you, because I thought I was gonna be able to pull it up here, but for some reason it's not pulling up. I don't know why. Clear. Nope. You okay? Nope. Okay. Well, that sounds great. Look at that. Yeah, just when you need it. You know what I mean? It's always those moments. You ever face those moments where you need it and you can't find it? Okay, there it is. I was like, I know I had this whole time. Okay. And right here. Okay. So today I wanted to take a piece out of, oh, there it is. Look at me. Ta-da! I found it. Okay. So I wanted to take a piece. I know I mentioned this to you guys yesterday. By the way, if you're not on our YouTube stream, you should probably get over there, because I have some links below the video. I know some of you guys are watching over on Facebook, but if you want some of the links that I'm going to be sharing, they're going to be over on the YouTube stream, so you can get that and you can click the links below. One of the things I'm going to share with you guys today is coming from a recent training that I've updated called Clear the Fog, a 14-day challenge to gain complete clarity. And I've actually been training this material for maybe 10 years. When I first started my consulting company, I was actually focused on teaching people and helping them with their goals. I mean, that was a big thing, because I knew how much like goals had impacted my life. And one of the things, by the way, have you ever had a mentor or someone in your life that like really made an impact? Well, that person, I'd love to know if you have, throw it in the comments, or maybe that person. But for me, it was my mentor, my goal. I call him my goal setting coach, which was not Jim Rohn, excuse me. That was my mentor coach. It was Aaron Raymond out of Canada. And Aaron Raymond actually had this program called the Monthly Mentor. I should tell you about this story because it involves also how I basically came into the whole seminar industry and how I got started in this world of education and training people and consulting. So oh, there it is. I'm showing it to you too soon. The surprise. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So one of the things that got me into, I'll share this story with you. One of the things that got me into the industry of the seminar world was first, like I said, I was a student. I was there learning. So if you haven't heard this story before, I'll give you a brief overview of it. I remember years ago, I drove to New York City. It was the first time I had ever been in New York City alone. And I went to this training seminar, and there was 20,000 people. It was at the Javits Center, actually, where they're having the COVID relief, that big conference center. There was a real estate conference there. And, currently President Trump, he wasn't president at the time, but President Trump was there. He was the headline speaker, and there was all these other speakers. My good friend Larry was there. My previous boss, Dave Lindahl, was there. And there was so many of these legends in real estate who were there. But actually, I didn't go to many of the real estate sessions. I actually went to this goal setting session with Raymond Aaron. And actually, I didn't even realize he wasn't going to talk about real estate. It was more about how to set up your goals, how to achieve your things faster. Now, guys, remember, I had just gotten out of that car accident probably a year earlier. So it was kind of really big into this goal setting mode. I wanted to have, more, achieve more in life. So one of the things I did was went to this conference. So I sat in this guy's presentation, and it was a 90-minute pitch. I mean, I looking back today, I realized that I know the structure of the industry, and today I make very different choices at how I self-educate myself. So one of the things is never mind. All right, so today, so during that time, I went to this, and there was probably 1,000 people sitting down in this room, okay? And Raymond's in the front of the room, and Raymond's, by the way, he's a good friend of mine, and he's in front of the room, and he's talking about achieving your life, and I actually don't even remember that. The only part that I remember is 2 parts. Number 1, I remember cruise ship, okay? And I don't even like dark water. If there's anything I fear, you guys have probably maybe seen this post before, but if there's anything I fear most is being in the middle of the ocean, stranded in dark water. That's just not fun. So I remember him just saying cruise ship, and it was a line that he would use inside of his presentation to get people to buy his goal setting program. And let me tell you, a goal setting program is really hard to sell at $2,000. It is not easy to sell at that price point. But in between his presentation, he was sharing a bunch of things in regards to that, right? A bunch of things such as the reason why you're still broke is because of this, and the reason why you haven't achieved the goals you want is because of that. And the only way you're going to get there is what? Through buying my program, right? So it was my first pitch ever that I've ever sat through. And I had just gotten a credit card. It was my first credit card, and I actually traveled with it, and it was the first time I ever swiped anything on that credit card, and I maxed it out that day, just in that one seminar. I didn't have any other funds on that credit card to buy any other training programs because I literally only had $2,000 on that credit card. And it was for a goal-setting program, guys. This wasn't anything like, oh, buy this website software thingamabop, and it's going to get you money. No. This was strictly goals. But let me tell you something, guys. After he was getting everybody to the back table, hundreds of people were back there, and there I was, signing up no problem. After I bought my course, it was this big, heavy bag of paper and plastic, really, right? That's the logistics of it. But I remember going to the restroom. I went to the washroom, and as I'm sitting in the stall, okay, I wasn't, I got my pants on and stuff, okay? But I'm in there, and I'm literally sweating. and I'm looking down at this bag and I'm like, what did I just do? And a few things happened to me at that moment. A few things happened. Excitement, fear, and awe and wonder. Because I was shocked that the man that I never even met before, never even shook his hand, don't know who he was, didn't know he was all the way from Canada, got me to get to the back table. Not just because of a cruise ship, okay, potentially get on a cruise ship, but to get me to go spend and max out the credit card that I had just to achieve my goals and dreams. So it's like two parts, right? Looking back today, I realize and I understand that there are con artists and scam artists out there, and they're everywhere in the real estate industry. They're just in the real estate, internet marketing, whatever, make money on Instagram, whatever it is. Today, it's much more prevalent because of the internet. Years ago, this would only typically happen at live events or a local meetup group, right? It's like the snake oil salesman or the traveling salesman, the snake oil salesman only comes around in those areas. You only get duped when they're in town, okay? So I didn't know that looking back. And so at the moment, as I'm looking, at the moment when I'm there, I'm just like, I'm sweating. I'm like, what the heck did I just do? And I thought two things. I said, I can either bring this back and said I made a huge mistake, or I can move on and believe everything Raymond just said. And so I went with the latter. And the latter was, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this and I'm going to apply everything he said because I believed in what he was telling me. And thank God I did. I am so grateful I did. And that's the kind of catch-22 part about the industry of self-education and getting good training material, is because I thank God I did, because I literally followed that goal-setting program. It's called the Monthly Mentor. I still think he does sell it, probably not at the same price point anymore, but it's called the Monthly Mentor. And I remember going through that program, and it was in that program where I literally followed every step. I mean, every step, from taking the little index card, shoving it into my wallet, writing my annual backwards goals, setting the MTOs, the minimum, the target, the above and beyond, all that stuff. I literally followed everything to the T. And the good thing is all of it worked out, which is phenomenal. That's the best part about it. Because otherwise I would not have achieved everything that, and here's the thing, beyond of what it got me and what it achieved in my life, you know what it taught me most was a pattern. It taught me a pattern of success. It taught me how to achieve my goals, no matter what they were. That was the amazing part. It was no matter what they were, I was achieving them because, because I had this formula, I had a system. And that was the most powerful thing that I experienced. Sorry guys, I'm looking for the comment section. I know you guys are commenting and I apologize, but for some reason your comments are not displaying on my screen. I apologize. I don't know. I don't know why. Yesterday it was working fine. Today is a whole nother story. And maybe if I try this, 1 second, and let's try that. Okay. So yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So let me just acknowledge everybody that's been commenting. I do apologize. I don't know why comments are not working today. So Vamsi, thank you so much. Yeah. Vamsi, if you ever, I think we've talked about this before. If you ever whenever you can get you and Steve come out here, let's go. Let's do it. And then, Mark Sikenya Martin, learning filmmaking from the internet was my daily activities every morning before I go to work. That's awesome. Yes, definitely do something every day. Sean, you're in Orlando. Love Orlando, man. Love that. I've been there more times than I can count. So, going back to that story, and by the way, now that I can see your comments, guys, I bet you, I don't even know if there's comments coming in from YouTube, but here's the thing. I do apologize, comments not working, but we'll get it worked out. So, one of the things that, and hey, Sarah, sorry, I forgot. I just see Sarah here. How are you, Sarah? Good to have you on board as well. And Justin, nice to have you here also, buddy. Okay, so one of the biggest things I learned was this formula to goal setting, okay? And this was literally the best advice I ever got in my life, because it didn't matter what I was doing in my life. It didn't matter if I had my marketing agency, which I had, and then it didn't matter if I was building a network marketing. I've done network marketing at a younger age. It didn't matter what I was into. Real estate investing, I knew how to get what I wanted because I had this formula of achieving success, right? Now, prior to going to this event and prior to going to this event and finding this formula from Raymond Aaron, okay, I was pitched on a buddy of mine. I wouldn't say pitched, but he was definitely a buddy of mine, and he worked at a cell phone store. And I bring it up the reason why he worked at a cell phone store, bringing that up because it leads into what our topic is today. And that is, what I was looking to learn how to make more money. And this guy was telling me that I should make more money by getting into the tire business. And literally, the tires on cars. He had this idea, and it was just an idea. He wasn't actually practicing it. He had this idea that if I was to get the tires from the ball tires that were coming out of these mechanics when they were replacing the new ones, take the ball tires, and then I would be able to sell them off to another company that I don't really even remember the details, but you could make, I think it was like $2 per tire. Okay, guys, this is like over 15 years ago. Now, mind you, this guy had no experience. This was like him just talking about an idea of making more money. Meanwhile, he was working at a telecom company. I don't know if you guys remember MCI. That was what it was, which eventually got bought out by Sprint, I think it was. Anyway, he didn't have any experience in the tire business. He just thought it was a good idea. I remember sitting on his porch and he was telling me about this grand idea and I bought into it because I'm like, wow, that's so true. There's 4 tires to every car. And if you multiply that, yeah, the multiplication sounded good. $2 for every tire times, millions, right? The math sounded good, but the concept was just bad advice. So I want to talk to you about that today. Bad advice. Have you ever received bad advice? If you have, let me know. Smash this video with a like or post some bad advice that you received. You don't have to mention any names or anything, but you can post some bad advice. Yeah, like your relative is watching, right? But you can post some bad advice, or maybe the worst advice you ever got. For me, that was probably the worst advice I got at a younger age was, going into this tire thing. Why? And listen, it didn't just stop at the front porch. I actually pursued this idea. And I remember going around to mechanics. I went first to my mechanic and I went to a bunch of other places like, oh, if we take these tires and everybody was like looking at me like, what are you talking about? They knew the business because they were in it. My buddy wasn't. And it was what I lost was time, but I gained experience because I learned a huge lesson in that process. But if you've ever gotten bad experience, I'd love, you could share it in the comments if you wish, or like this video that you're watching and let me know. Now, I want to share an exercise with you that comes out of my 14-day clarity challenge. I'll get it out at some point like this. It's a recent program I recently updated called Clarity, Clear the Fog, a 14-day challenge to complete clarity. There it is. It's out now. And this program I've been training for 10 years. I recently updated it. It's in our members area. And if you're on our YouTube, you can actually click on the links below the YouTube video and you can get it from there. And you can get involved, and it's a 14-day challenge. Let me tell you, from the reviews that I've gotten so far, everything's been like 5 stars. I chatted with a few people about it, our members that are going through it, and they absolutely love it. They said some said it was life-changing. Some said this was the best personal development stuff they've ever gone through, which is so admirable because, man, my standards are like up here when it comes to personal development. But that's really cool. What matters to me most is that it's affecting people's lives. It's helping them out get clear. Now, guys, this program is specifically for real estate investors because that's my background. That's what I have experience in. However, what applies in here, you'll hear me talk a lot about real estate investing and how you can use these exercises in real estate investing. But these strategies apply to anyone. Anyone in the world can really do this strategy. And that's when this will have a major impact on your life. So I want to share that with you. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put the exercise up here on the screen, and then you can read through it and look through. This is one exercise out of 14 exercises that we go through in that program. But Sarah says, before we get to that, Sarah says, brokers are broke. The worst advice Sarah's ever received. Brokers are broke. Fact, but does not have to be. No economics. Timing is everything. That is so true. Sarah brings up a great point. I remember, I'm going to shed some light on that, Sarah, personal experience. I remember when I was a mortgage broker. I've never been a real estate broker. I was coached not to, but that's okay. That was the advice I got. It was because of the business I was building at the time. I thought about that sometimes because there was a point in my life where I was like, man, I think I actually went to go take, here's the story, backstory. I went to go take the real estate exam twice, literally. The first time I went through it, I failed, okay? I failed, and that's actually true to a lot of my background in schooling and education. I failed tests, but I know the knowledge like nobody's business. So that was my reality. I couldn't pass the test. I went back, I think 2 or 3 years later after I was already doing wholesaling real estate for a while, and I went back again. And while I was sitting in the class, I was like, this is not for me. And it wasn't for me, but that doesn't mean it has to be for everybody. Some people are amazing real estate brokers, and it's so great to have them. And I'm so glad I have good relationships with real estate agents that are on my power team. It's really important to have them because it helps you build your business. You help them make money. I'm working with a real estate agent right now. I just talked to one yesterday, so they're needed in the marketplace. So we'll talk about that more down the road. But I agree with what Sarah said, because when I was a mortgage broker, I got that same thing, like, brokers are broke. And interesting enough, I went into being a mortgage broker with that mindset, like, I don't want to be broke. I want to do this business. And the cool thing was, though, the people that were around me, even though I was a mortgage broker during like 2004, 2000 to the 2008, right? Even though I was in that, I helped support the crash, okay? I'm proud I helped support the crash in the economy. No, but I was writing a lot of those loans, those stated income loans. I was actually a part of a company that had this certain program that sold adjustable rate mortgages. If you're familiar with the ARM loans, what we would do is we would take people out of the current mortgage they were paying. If they were paying like $1,500, we would put them in a mortgage that was around $300. And then we had this other program for them that they could take the difference of the money, okay? The difference of the money, take that and invest it. So they were actually in an adjustable rate mortgage. Listen, the whole program was working fine until the crisis hit, right? That was when things got out of whack. We actually had a unique spin on what we did for the industry. We would make sure we would take the difference of the income from what they were paying to the new loan, let's say $300. We'd take that difference, could be in $1,000 or $1,100 on average, and we'd show them how to invest it so it was making money for them. So basically, they were actually making money in the interest account, okay, the interest-bearing account, to knock off the interest they were paying. If they were paying 1.5 or 2% interest, they were actually paying no interest because they were making more money in their investment account. Hopefully that all makes sense without any like diagrams popping up here, but you get the idea that we were helping our clients make money. As a broker during that time, we were all making six figures. Everybody but me, because I don't like BMW. Nothing personal, but everybody around me, all the other brokers were driving like these, what do they call them? The 750s, right? The BMW 750 or 700. I really don't know the numbers. But everybody had like these beautiful cars, right? And we were all living the high life. I mean, it was like spending money like nobody's business. I never ate at home during that time, okay? I was constantly eating breakfast, I'd eat out, lunch, I would eat out, dinner, I would eat out, then at night to the bar or club. I don't drink, but at that time, some guys would go to the bar, and I still today get laughed at because if we ever go out somewhere at night and you're drinking your alcohol, you'll find me drinking whatever. Like a few of my buddies would make fun of me because they would be like, they would all be drinking some kind of like whatever drink they had, beer or whatever. And I'd only be the one with like I would have either like a Shirley Temple or what do they call it? I'd mix Coke and Sprite or ginger ale and Sprite. mix these drinks, and I just tell people I had a mixed drink, right? No, so that was, Coke and Sprite, whatever, understand. I was mixing stuff together. But that was my life. And that was the life of finances at the time, was like no budgeting whatsoever, like horrible. When I look back, I was in my early 20s, making six figures, making more than my friends that were in college, which is kind of normal. But I was making so much money, more than my friends who had just graduated. And when I look back and I'm like, those moments where you go like this, like, where did all that money go? You ever had those moments? Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of that money, I had a good chunk of money that I actually put into the stock market, because I was like testing everything. I was new to like all this investing stuff. So I was testing out a bunch of stuff, and I would take a lot of the mortgage money and I'd put it into stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And I would also put it into a little bit of real estate. But that didn't go so well because of the crash. There was a bunch of things going on. And a lot of that money I just blew. Like, I was so young and I just blew that money. Lessons learned, because over the past, 15 years now, I've learned how to do more personal finance, budgeting, investing, long-term investing, portfolio investing, and a whole bunch more, and also the power of real estate. So that's really important. Hey, Steve, thanks so much for joining in. Glad we could, we got to finish that phone call, by the way. Sarah, absolutely. Yeah, Sarah brings up some great points. And so what I want to share with you today is, because I started talking to you about the bad advice I got and a little bit of backstory here. And I want to share with you this exercise that comes from the program, the Clear the Fog program. And that exercise here is, hey, don't block me. All right, you got it? Wait, this way? All right. So this advice is, this exercise is called the Bad Advice Reflection Guide. It's to look back on, come here, buddy. It's to look back on the bad advice you've gotten. I'm just trying to make my screen a little bigger. Sorry. So I can see that's not working. Let's close that down today. Okay. So here's what you do on this exercise. You're absolutely right, Sarah. You only do it once. Blow the money. It was a good time. Wait, hold on. Okay. So you know what, Sarah? It was a good time. I look back and I say, okay, I did have a great time. I made some stupid decisions, but you know what? I enjoyed myself and we move on, right? And I'll tell you what has helped me accelerate my budgeting and all that, because that only lasted, the frivolous spending and all that only lasted a few years. And then what really helped me was, a few good morning wake-up calls in life personally, and then having my first child, really whoa, okay. So it basically was also implementing everything I learned and studied over the years after, I know this doesn't happen to everyone, but one of the things that I've heard from other guys that love their family and have kids is when they had their first child, they're like, whoa, all right, let's do it now. Let's get serious. I probably had that moment maybe 3 or 5 years before my first child, but it was kind of interesting because I took it to a whole nother level with my child. Now, the cool thing is now it's like, one of the things my, a friend of mine once said is his daughter's already rich. And so I've tried to apply that into my life. It's now leaving the legacy of making my daughters rich, but now my daughter's daughter is already rich, right? So that just comes down to dedication and discipline, guys, by the way. It's not rocket science. Einstein says it very best that, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And it really is. It's the 8th wonder of the world. If you don't understand compound interest and the power of money and all that stuff, you really got to get into it. And again, if you want to make more money, you got to study money, right? You got to know how it works. All right. So let's talk about the Bad Advice Reflection Guide here, up as you see up on the screen. Look at that. Oh, I did it right the first time. Look at that. Bam, right there. All right, so as you can see on the left column here, it says, what bad advice have you adopted, and how has this bad advice cost you? Now, if you feel free to share, if you'd like to, in the comments, have you received bad advice? I know, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. But have you received bad advice and then adopted it? What it means by adopted, it means all these years you may have been living with that belief all this time. I'm going to tell you something that I believed and adopted, but not anymore. But I'm going to tell you something that I believed for about 5 years of my real estate investing business. I believed that I needed all the money to do deals. So what I would do is I'd work really hard, I'd close more deals, I'd close more loans, right? And I was flipping a little bit of real estate, but I always believed that I needed to flip more real estate, some what they call wholesaling real estate, and flip contracts and stuff like that. I always believed that I needed to do more of those to build this nest egg and then to go buy a bigger piece of real estate. That was the worst advice I ever adopted, and actually came out of just a scarce mentality. And the reality is, I wanted to share something with you that's really important that you must understand. I don't care if it's real estate or any type of business you're in. The reality is, you don't lack money, you lack strategy. Seriously, you lack strategy. It's not about money. I've seen so many times, even myself, and I hate to pull I'm going to pull myself out of the picture, because if I keep giving you the same examples, then it's kind of, there are so many people out there that have gone from nothing to something, that have done it with no money because they built strategy. And that's something I want you to be mindful of. Over the next, what are we at, 29 days now? This Crushing COVID daily is for the next 30 days, right? For the month of May. And I want you to just think about that. Maybe you go on YouTube, look up some stories about people who've gone from nothing to something. Okay, and I'm talking about bigger celebrities or artists, business people, entrepreneurs. And I want you to just think about, how did they get there? How did they get to that point? How did they go from being broke to having money, right? Or building a big company, right? See, it's about strategy at the end of the day. It's really all about strategy, because once you have the strategy and you can deliver it to the marketplace is going to pay you. The marketplace doesn't care who you are, where you're from, how much money is in your bank account. The market is only waiting with its arms open wide and saying, bring me value. Bring me your value. Bring me your strategy, and I will compensate you if there is a need. And the law of supply and demand is very simple, folks. It's not that difficult, but I think some people in business make it more difficult than sometimes it has to be. And that's, if there's a demand, make sure you bring the supply. That's economics at the end of the day. I don't care what part of the world you're in. I don't care what industry you're in. If there's a demand, bring the supply and you'll make money on the exchange. That's business. At the end of the day, that's business. And so one of the things I discovered, thank God I discovered at a younger age, is that when you know what the market needs, you can supply the market, and that will spit out money all day long. And you could put it in a business all day long. I know a lot of people who've built businesses, but they started providing a service, or they had a product, okay, even before they even formed a company. Some people want to, make sure everything's done right, but just make sure there's a demand first. Once there's a demand, you can supply the market with it. So going back to this bad advice that I adopted, I believed that I needed money to get into commercial real estate. I believed I needed all this money for a down payment. I believed in all that I needed always to have more money to do more deals. But let me give you some really powerful advice, okay? And it's actually a reality. If right now you were to, yes, Sarah, I have read Acres of Diamonds at a very young age. Actually, on the website, fearless-millionaire.com. I'll email it to you because I can't remember the URL right now. But I actually did a foreword in that book as well, Acres of Diamonds. It is absolutely the best, and I totally agree, because no matter where you are in the world, it's so easy to think that the grass is greener on the other side, but the reality is you got diamonds that you're right underneath you. Yeah, it's a great read. Everybody should read that book. It's a really powerful read. Actually, I could probably put it somewhere here at some point. Sorry. But yeah, Sarah, it's a great read. I'll probably throw it in the comment section. I'll do that. So the belief that I had to have that funds. So I was sharing with you that the reality is, if you got into real estate investing, right, and you started off with, let's say, $10,000, and you say, okay, get into real estate. And you're like, well, okay, you'd probably think I got to go look for a property that will get me $10,000, right? Because you're taking your budget and matching it to the property. But now imagine if you had $100,000 in your checking account to go buy real estate. Well, then now you're like, okay, I could probably go buy one property right, with this $100,000, or I can buy maybe 2 or 3 properties with this same $100,000. Maybe I can split it down the middle. But then what? You ran out of money again, didn't you? Yep. So then guys, let me just kind of close this up a bit, all right? Because I'm like halfway over here. I'm getting like pain in my neck. I'm like, ah. So, so if you have, let's say $1 million, we went from, 10,000, 100,000. Let's say you have $1 million in your checking account. What are you going to go do? You're going to go spend that $1 million on either 1 property or 10 properties or whatever it is. And then what? After that, you run out of money. So you see, in real estate, you'll always run out of money all the time. What's most important is that you have to learn how to raise money, how to use other people's funds who don't have the time and energy and effort to be in real estate, right? To actively as a business, but know that real estate is the 'n1 wealth security vehicle to build wealth. It is. And there's people out there who don't have the time. A lot of my lawyer friends and partners, right? I hire them. They're busy being a professional. Doctors, accountants. I could go on and on. There's a whole list of them. But all those kinds of people are busy doing their life and their business. There's people who are busy, well, not right now, but restaurant owners, right? They're busy running their restaurant, right? Whatever type of business someone's in, there's always people who have money and usually don't know what to do with it. There's a lot of people who are in their job, right? They're working their job and they have an IRA, right? They have their portfolio built up and their money's in those securities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. So they could take that money and move it out of there and put it into real estate, which is a much more secure investment. So when we talk about securities and investing, there's a few kinds, but there's basically 2 markets. There's the market of the stocks, bonds, mutual funds market, which is the primary market, which everybody kind of talks about, right? And there's the real estate market, which is much more complicated to get into, and the majority of people wouldn't do it or get into it. They don't really know how to invest in it. So what you hear always on the news most of the time is the primary market, right? The Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, so on, right? So on and so forth. All of them, all the exchanges around the world, right? So there's that primary market, which is very simple for people to understand. Why? Because they go to their job, they work, and they get a piece of their income taken out, and it goes into that market, those securities, and they let these people who they don't know control their money. That's the exchange. And I've been in that position before, though. When I first started investing in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, I did it myself. I opened up my first stock. By the way, if you would be interested in me sharing about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, just as a story and my background and how I got started, during the next 30 days, let me know in the comments so that way I can prepare for it and I can show you my backstory to that and what I did back then, how I lost lots of money, how I lost a bunch of money years ago, and how I invest in those type of securities today. If you're interested in that, throw it in the comments to say, I don't know, put a $sign or put I'm interested in stocks or that kind of thing, just so I know, and I'll give you my backstory. Again, I'm not an advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. What I'll do is I'll share my backstory with you and then how I do it today. Okay? Because what I found, though, in every real estate investor that is really savvy investor who has a portfolio in real estate, what I've always found, they always have some form of portfolio in the market. It's always like an arm or a branch. Doesn't mean they're doing it primary. It's not their primary thing, but they've done it with other securities. So there's a lot of securities out there, but I'm just going to basically tell you about primarily real estate, okay? Because it is the best. So there are people out there who have money in their checking account, in their savings, inheritance money, it's IRAs, right? 401ks, which is an IRA, but some people don't know the difference. So there's a lot of vehicles out there that people have their money in that can be moved into real estate. Now, this is a much more deeper conversation. I just want to give you the point and let you realize that you are not limited by your own funds, and you should not limit yourself. That was the worst advice I ever got, and it was from other people around me. It wasn't until I expanded my mind, it wasn't until I expanded my circles, and I started educating myself about how to raise money for deals. It wasn't until I started expanding my mind and learning how to put together deals that were either bigger or smaller. Guys, I've raised money for single family houses. I've raised money for single family rehabs, which I don't like rehabs too much. I've raised money for commercial deals. I've raised money for a lot of different types of strategies of real estate. But the important thing is, what I'm sharing with you, the important thing is that you just don't want to have that limiting mindset where you think like, oh, it's not doable, right? It's not doable. The truth is it is doable. Maybe you don't know how to do it yet, or maybe you're not familiar. And also you want to be careful of where you learn it from. You want to make sure that someone has done it and they have experience, but at least you can learn it and do it and build up your real estate business and portfolio. So I know my audience here is at all different levels of real estate investing, whether you're maybe have done a bunch of deals, or maybe you're stuck on your second or third deal, or maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you're just getting started in real estate. And if that's you, you could always reach out to us. I know I don't know where it is now, but I had an overlay that I could show you. And it's basically, if you have any questions about real estate investing, you can shoot an email over to us at support@fearless-millionaire.com. And I thought I had it here somewhere. I did earlier, but I don't know where it is now. And you can email support@fearless-millionaire.com and submit any questions you have through there, any real estate question at all. And Aubrey will get that email. And if it can be answered in a video that I've already recorded, that maybe not online, she'll send it to you. And if it can't be answered in the email, then I will get that email and help you out directly. That way I can help you continue. And by the way, guys, there is a bunch of online training that I'm going to be doing in the next few months. I actually have an upcoming training on how to raise private money. It's coming up here real soon. And also, I'm also doing another training on how to do real estate in your backyard. I'm calling it backyard real estate. And what that is if you want to invest locally, I'm giving it away all for free. It's all going to be right on my YouTube channel. So what I'd recommend you do is get over to my YouTube channel. All you have to do is type in Fearless Millionaire. That's it. You could go on Google, type in Fearless Millionaire. You'll find us anywhere. That's the only name you need to use and it'll come up. But if you get over to our Fearless Millionaire YouTube channel, look for the blue diamond, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified about an upcoming training that I'm going to be doing next month about how to start real estate investing in your own backyard. Okay. I also have some private trainings as well that I do on remote real estate, how to do it virtually from anywhere, like I am right now in Portugal. And I literally invest in the United States from here, or when I'm in Uganda, I invest in Uganda or in Portugal or in the United States, no matter where it is, I could do it all virtually. But it takes a little bit more, it's a little different angle, it takes a little bit more intensive training. So that's a little different, but I am going to be doing it right on YouTube, free training on how it basically, there are gurus out there who would charge you anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 for this kind of training. I'm giving it to you absolutely for free because it just needs to be organized for people. And a lot of that information is free right online. So I'm basically going to organize it for you. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. So jump onto the YouTube. And also if you want to get our email updates and tips about wealth strategies and how to build your life and how to build your finances and real estate, you can jump over to our website, which let me show you what it looks like. It's got my mug on it. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I'm going to show you what you can go do to kind of, if you're launching your life or you want to get started in real estate. It has my mug right on the main picture, so you can't miss it, right? If you know what I look like, then you know what this looks like. All right, it's right here. It's this red website right here, and right on top, guys, you can see where it says the 14-day clarity challenge for real estate investors. That's what I was talking about earlier. If you want to go through this 14-day challenge, you will go through what just happened? Who did that? Okay, I don't know what it was going on. Was it you? And the 14-day challenge I was talking about earlier about bad advice, the bad advice exercise is inside of this 14-day challenge. You can go to the top of the page, click that, and and it'll take you to that page where you can learn about the 14-day challenge and go through it. Now, another thing I want to direct your attention to is this real estate assessment, okay? Go to this real estate assessment. It will ask you some questions about where you're at in real estate, and then it will take you to another exercise where you can get a jump start on how to invest in real estate. So if that's something you're interested in and you're interested in real estate, or maybe you just want to hang out here for the next 30 days and get to know each other and learn more about, mindset and, maybe top reads or stuff like that we're going to be covering over the next 30 days in business, that's fine too. But if you're interested in real estate, then you're going to want to get over to this website. A little about who's that guy. This is my good friend Dave Seymour. If you guys ever watched the TV show Flipping Boston, that's him. We used to have a business together and built a business together. He's a great guy. Here are some of our reviews, and we have a bunch more, by the way. If you go up to our page over here, if you want to see, do these people actually, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Yeah, right here, success stories. I thought I had it right the first time. Right here under success stories, you can go there. If you want to ask me anything, you can go there and do it. By the way, if you want free real estate resources, go right here under resources, click that, and it will take you to another page. All free resources right here. We're actually updating a book here that one of my clients, Sarah, mentioned. We're going to be updating this page. You can go right to this page and it'll give you great reads or audiobooks that you should read. Start preparing yourself on negotiations. You should learn more about negotiations. Also about mindset. Remember, guys, I was telling you about the magic of thinking big? It's up here. How to win friends and influence people. The strangest secret. Guys, this book by Earl Nightingale, it's not for everyone, only if you truly believe that you want to achieve everything in life. Read this book, okay? And I know that sounds kind of like Oprah Winfrey-ish, all right? But the reality is this book will change your life, hands down. The Strangest Secret, it's amazing. And I read this book. I'm so glad I read this book at a young age because it's really powerful. Also, you can check out our podcast. Did you know we have a podcast? Did you know that? We have a podcast, the Fearless Millionaire Podcast. It's on everywhere. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can get us anywhere. Just type in Fearless Millionaire. It's very simple. You can type it in and get there. I also recommend two other websites I recommend is Carrot Cast, where they talk about online marketing for real estate investors, and Bigger Pockets. No gurus allowed. No gurus allowed in Bigger Pockets. So I definitely highly recommend the Bigger Pockets training because they're really, really good. I have a bunch of other resources on here, guys. Tools and systems and softwares that I use that I recommend. It's right here on the website. You can go through it. But also, if you're a member of our Facebook group, and I will show you what that is. If you jump over to our Facebook group, again, what do you type in to find out what our Facebook group is? It's very simple. Fearless Millionaire. If you go over to our Facebook group, you can find it at Groups Fearless Millionaire Group. Sorry, let me turn this on here for you. And it looks like what? It looks like such. Hold on. Whoops. Okay, it goes, it's right here. There we go. It's right here. This is the group right here. Looks like that. Same picture, so you can know it has the same thing. And inside here, we have a bunch of trainings on real estate. It's a members only center. So it's our clients, our members who have been with us for a long time, and also those who are taking their life to the next level in their real estate business. So if you're interested in that as well, you can look us up, find us, and get involved that way also. So that's it. There we go. That is it for today. We've covered a bunch, and I did give you an overview of our website. You can learn more about us there. I did have this question. It's not really a question. It was actually a request. I had a request. Where'd it go? Okay, I can't find it now. Sorry, guys. Can't find the request. Sorry, but guys, if you have enjoyed this training, if you haven't, excuse me, I'm looking over there. It's over there. If you have enjoyed this training and you're following along, give this video a like. Also, get over to our YouTube because our YouTube channel, subscribe. Our links for a lot of the things I mentioned today are there. I'll also post the book with Acres of Diamonds in there. It's a really great read that Sarah recommended. I would go check that out as well. And yeah, and then I will see you same time, same place. When? Tomorrow, right here, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern time, where we will crush some more COVID tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining in, guys, and I will see you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sarah. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to you real soon. See ya.